The air crackled with an unnatural energy. It was as if the very atmosphere was charged with a foreboding sense of anticipation, a prelude to something extraordinary and unsettling. The sky, once a serene blue, had transformed into a canvas of dark, swirling clouds, each one pregnant with the promise of chaos. A wall of black clouds marched across the horizon, swallowing the afternoon sun. The light dimmed, casting an eerie twilight over the land. It felt as though the day had been stolen, replaced by an ominous dusk that sent shivers down the spine of anyone who dared to look up. The wind howled like a banshee, whipping leaves and dust into a frenzy. Trees bent and swayed under the relentless gusts, their branches creaking and groaning as if they were alive and in pain. The air was thick with the scent of rain and earth, a heady mix that signaled the storm's imminent arrival. People scurried for cover, sensing something extraordinary was about to happen. And then it began. The first drops of rain were heavy and cold, splashing against the ground with a force that seemed almost unnatural. The townsfolk, huddled under awnings and in doorways, watched in awe and fear as the storm unfolded. At first it was just a few specks tumbling from the sky. They fell slowly, almost lazily, as if they were unsure of their destination. But soon the specks multiplied, becoming a steady stream of small, wriggling shapes that defied explanation. Then more and more, until the air was alive with a bizarre, wriggling rain. The ground became slick with the strange precipitation, and the sound of their impact was a constant, unsettling patter that filled the air. It wasn't water cascading from the heavens. It was fish, tiny silver fish, their scales glinting in the dim light as they fell. They flopped and wriggled on the ground, creating a surreal and almost nightmarish scene. Small silver fish raining down on the astonished townsfolk. The people could hardly believe their eyes, their minds struggling to comprehend the bizarre phenomenon unfolding before them. Some reached out to catch the fish, while others simply stared in stunned silence. Panic seized the streets. People screamed and ran, slipping and sliding on the slick pavement, desperately trying to escape the deluge of creatures from the sky. The chaos was palpable, a mix of fear and confusion that spread like wildfire through the crowd. Cars screeched to a halt, their startled occupants gazing out in disbelief at the spectacle unfolding before their eyes. Drivers honked their horns, but the sound was lost in the cacophony of the storm and the cries of the panicked townsfolk. This wasn't a normal storm, this was something altogether more eerie, more inexplicable. It was as if the natural order had been upended, replaced by a scene from a fantastical tale. The storm raged on, leaving everyone to wonder what other surprises the heavens might have in store. Across the world and throughout history, there have been countless strange tales of animals falling from the sky. These stories, often dismissed as mere folklore or exaggerations, have intrigued scientists and laypeople alike. The phenomenon, though rare, has been reported in various cultures and eras, leaving behind a trail of bewilderment and curiosity. One of the most well-documented incidents occurred in Singapore in 1861. This bustling port city, known for its vibrant trade and diverse population, became the epicenter of a meteorological mystery that would baffle residents and scientists for years to come. For several days, the island nation was bombarded by torrential downpours interspersed with a peculiar form of precipitation. Fish. These weren't just small fish either. Some were sizable enough to cause damage to property and even injure people. The phenomenon was so unusual that it was recorded in local newspapers and became the talk of the town. The streets, once bustling with life, were transformed into slippery obstacle courses of flopping, gasping fish. People had to navigate carefully to avoid stepping on the wriggling creatures, and the smell of fish permeated the air, adding to the surreal atmosphere. It was as if the sea had decided to pay a visit to the land. Then there's the case of the Year of the Frogs in Kansas City, Missouri. This Midwestern city, known for its burgeoning industry and growing population, found itself at the mercy of a bizarre natural event that would go down in history. In 1873, a bizarre storm swept through the city, leaving behind a trail of utter bewilderment. The storm, which started like any other, quickly took a turn for the strange as it began to rain frogs. The sheer number of frogs falling from the sky was unprecedented and left the residents in a state of shock. Instead of the usual hailstones or raindrops, the storm unleashed a torrent of frogs upon the unsuspecting populace. These amphibians, ranging in size from tiny to quite large, fell in such quantities that they covered the ground, making it difficult to walk without stepping on them. The streets, sidewalks, and even rooftops were carpeted in these amphibians, creating a scene straight out of a biblical plague. The aftermath of the storm left the city in a state of chaos, with people scrambling to clean up the mess and scientists trying to understand the cause of this extraordinary event. Such occurrences, though rare, remind us of the unpredictable and often mysterious nature of our world. The phenomenon of raining animals has left scientists and laypeople alike scratching their heads for centuries. How could creatures that belong in lakes, rivers, and oceans possibly end up plummeting from the sky? Theories abounded, ranging from the plausible to the downright bizarre. Some suggested that the animals were swept up by powerful winds or sucked into the sky by tornadoes. Others proposed more outlandish explanations, attributing the phenomenon to divine intervention, alien activity, or even spontaneous generation. The now discredited belief that living organisms could arise from non-living matter. For centuries, the true cause of raining animals remained shrouded in mystery, fueling speculation and giving rise to a rich tapestry of folklore and mythology. Section 4. The waterspout theory. While the exact mechanisms behind raining animals are still debated, one theory has gained widespread acceptance: the waterspout theory. Waterspouts are intense, swirling columns of air and water that form over bodies of water. These meteorological marvels act like giant vacuum cleaners, sucking up water, debris, and, you guessed it, unfortunate aquatic creatures. Imagine a waterspout forming over a lake teeming with fish or frogs. As the swirling vortex gathers momentum, it lifts vast quantities of water into the air, carrying with it the unsuspecting aquatic life below. The waterspout, now laden with its unusual cargo, can travel for miles, propelled by powerful winds. Section 5. Caught in the vortex. Once the waterspout loses energy, its grip on its airborne captives weakens, and the reign of creatures begins. Fish, frogs, and other unsuspecting passengers are dumped unceremoniously back to Earth, often far from their original watery homes. While the waterspout theory provides a compelling explanation for many instances of raining animals, it doesn't solve the entire mystery. For example, some reports describe animals falling from the sky in perfectly good weather, with no waterspouts in sight. Furthermore, the theory doesn't fully explain why certain types of animals, such as frogs and fish, are more commonly reported in these events than others. Section 6. Tales and Legends. Long before modern science offered its explanations, our ancestors sought answers in the realm of myth and folklore. These stories were passed down through generations, often evolving with each retelling. They serve not only as entertainment, but also as a means to explain the inexplicable, to make sense of the natural world and its many mysteries. In various cultures around the world, raining animals were seen as omens, portents of good or evil, depending on the creature and the context. These phenomena were often interpreted through the lens of local beliefs and traditions, giving rise to a rich tapestry of legends and myths. For instance, in medieval Europe, a rain of frogs or toads was often seen as a sign of divine retribution or a harbinger of disaster. In ancient Greece, for instance, a shower of frogs was considered a sign of impending plague or famine. The Greeks, with their pantheon of gods and goddesses, often saw such events as messages from the divine. A rain of frogs might be interpreted as a warning from the gods, urging the people to change their ways or face dire consequences. In parts of India, a rain of fish was believed to be a blessing from the gods, a symbol of abundance and prosperity. During the monsoon season, when the heavens opened up and the rains poured down, the appearance of fish falling from the sky was seen as a divine gift, a promise of bountiful harvests and plentiful food. The Norse god Thor, known for his dominion over thunder and lightning, was sometimes associated with raining fish. In Norse mythology, Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, was said to be capable of summoning storms and rain. When fish fell from the sky, it was often seen as a sign of Thor's presence and his favor. According to legend, a fierce battle between Thor and the frost giants resulted in a deluge of fish raining down upon the earth. This story, like many others, served to explain the unexplainable, to provide a narrative for the strange and wondrous events that our ancestors witnessed. These tales and legends, though rooted in the past, continue to captivate our imaginations and remind us of the enduring power of storytelling.